Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. So let's talk about the Amazfit X. Alright, so if you're watching this video, chances are you know about the Amazfit X launch on Indiegogo and you're probably considering whether you should buy the smartwatch or not. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you a couple of points about the Amazfit X. So a couple of months back, I was actually at CES and I had the chance to have a very long hands-on time with the devices itself. But that was a couple of months back, and today it actually went live on Indiegogo, and there was a lot of information that was actually shared on the website. But just in case you missed out on some of it, let me go through a couple of points that I think you really must know before you make that purchase decision. Alright, so first up, let's talk about the main thing in the room, the price. So the price of the Amazfit X is about $149 if you're the super early bird. The prices definitely goes up the range depending on which package you choose, but the watch will eventually retail for about $329. So you're saving more than 50% off the actual retail price. So in terms of the display, basically it is a 92 degrees curved display and it is an AMOLED panel. So bear in mind that because it is an AMOLED panel, the contrast levels will be great, saturation levels will look very nice as well. It'll just be similar to what you get on your smartphone these days, and according to Amazfit, the brightness levels actually goes up to 400 nits, so that is pretty bright. And I recall that day at CES, the booth lights were really strong, but I could still see the display of the Amazfit X perfectly clear. Everything was very sharp. The sharpness level is about 326 ppi, so that is actually equivalent to something like an iPhone SE, for example. And yeah, overall the display is just something really beautiful to look at, and it just looks great. Right, so another thing you need to know is that the Amazfit X is actually pretty light. According to the specs, it is 39 grams, and that is actually really light. So for example, just to give you an idea, the Amazfit Bip S that I have here is about 32 grams, and this is already very light. Like, I barely feel it on my wrist. So 39 grams is definitely very light as well, and you don't have to worry about it being too chunky or heavy on your wrist. So another cool thing about the Amazfit X is that it doesn't have any buttons. Amazfit just wants that seamless, like perfect, like completely minimalistic and simplistic look. So they don't have any buttons, but what they do have is a pressure sensitive button, so that's pretty cool as well. In terms of activity and sport tracking, the Amazfit X supports up to 9 modes of different activities. So just bear in mind that it basically covers your typical walking, running, cycling, and of course swimming. So just these basic activities, these will all be tracked by the Amazfit X. Apart from that, it is also obviously able to track your heart rate. It is also able to track your SpO2 levels, basically meaning the amount of oxygen in your blood. So that's able to be done as well. And last but not least, it also tracks your sleeping activities at night. Another thing that Amazfit mentioned about the Amazfit X is that it will come with the dual GPS. So some of you might think like, what is this dual GPS is talking about? So basically it comes with a GPS and GLONASS system, and this is actually nothing out of the ordinary as well. Once again, this is very standard basic stuff that we also already have on the Amazfit watches, and hopefully the Amazfit X GPS system is actually good, because in previous versions of the Amazfit watches, for example the GTS, a lot of people have been saying that the GPS is not that accurate. You can't really lock on to the GPS and it takes a while to actually lock on to the location. But in the latest Amazfit T-Rex, Amazfit actually had a pretty good GPS system. I realized that it actually locked on to my location in about less than 10 seconds. So I'm pretty sure that Amazfit will be using this new unit in their Amazfit X. So GPS wise, I think it should be fine. Alright, last but not least, let's talk about the battery life. So Amazfit is claiming 7 days of battery life on the Amazfit X. So what does this mean? So obviously if you're like me and you have the 24/7 heart rate monitoring going on, you have a lot of notifications coming in, and of course with that nice display you might want to have it on like to a really bright level. So if you're like me, like I said, I would expect the battery life to be more realistically about 4 to 5 days. Alright, the final thing that you need to know, and I think this is a pretty important one, so please listen to me on this particular info. So one thing you need to know is that the Amazfit device, the Amazfit X itself, is not like a smartphone. It's not like a standard Google Wear OS smartwatch. So according to the website, I noticed that some people are actually asking like if you could answer calls directly from the Amazfit X itself. So on the specification sheet, we actually see the presence of a mic on the Amazfit X, but according to Amazfit, in their latest reply, it says that you are not able to answer calls on the watch itself. So if you do have a call coming in, you see the notification on your Amazfit X, but you still have to use your phone or your Bluetooth earphones to connect and answer the call itself. You can't just answer the call on your Amazfit X and like just speak to it over the watch itself, because it doesn't support that at the moment. Another thing you need to know is that there is no mention about any internal storage on the Amazfit X itself, so we are not sure that whether we can put songs in the Amazfit X just for storing it and maybe listening to your Bluetooth earphones connected to your watch. So that's not mentioned, and I suspect that it might not actually be available. So bear in mind, for those of you who don't like to carry your phones with you, for those of you who just want to carry your watch, the Amazfit X in this situation, you might not be able to put songs and listen to it directly with the Amazfit X. Alright, so third thing that it doesn't have is it does not come with NFC. So some of you might think that you might want to use the contactless payment methods, but unfortunately there is no NFC on the Amazfit X, so you can forget about that. That won't be coming. Alright guys, I think that's it for this video. This is as much information that I can find from the website itself, and based on my personal experience on using so many different Amazfit watches, I actually think that the Amazfit X is a pretty good device to consider buying. But you also need to know that this is like a smart band, a very nice smart band, rather than a like full-fledged smartwatch with all the features that you expect from something like Android Wear. Alright guys, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I hope this video has helped you out in some way, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!